Okay, scrappers, just firing up the furnace for the first time, and just need to apparently dry out the refractory cement first. So I've got it on a very low heat and going to do this for a couple of 10-minute stints, just so I can dry out the inside. Then I'm going to put the lid down and try and dry out the lid as well. Apparently if you don't do this step, you could crack the cement. So we're just going to try and get it nice and dry. And yeah, so I've got my little gas bottle here, and this hose, I actually got a new hose. I got a whole new regulator here and everything, because as you can see, these are clamped on rather than just a hose clamp. So, and that's the Australian standard anyway, and anything less, yeah, it wouldn't be very good. So yeah, and the regulator itself, I just got a whole new Australian standard regulator, because the one that came with it wasn't very good. It was just looked like a cheap version, and yeah, and so because it wasn't Australian standards, the gas guy recommended that I get, you know, a proper one. So this one doesn't have a gauge, but I don't think I'll need the gauge. Once I've set up the right settings, I can just leave them at that. So here we go. It's so far so good. Because I don't have the pressure gauge, I don't really know at what pressure I've really got it at. They say in the instructions, it says to put it at a very, very low. So I think I've got it at a low. And that's the little adjust. So I don't want that too far open, I don't think, for now. Yeah, all right, well, I'm just going to let that do its thing, and hopefully it's well, it'll do the job. But I can already see, even, you know, the lining of the refractory is already kind of splitting and drying. And I can't really turn it down any lower. Yeah, so I'm not sure how thick that refractory lining is. Strange. Looks like it's already peeling. But I just follow the instructions. And we'll see how we go. Scrapper's just going to take some plastic into a plastic recycler today. We're going to give them a go. They don't always take plastic, so it's taking a bit of a risk loading the plastic up. It's mainly from a bunch of monitors that I just scrapped out. So let's go down there and check them out and see if they're going to actually accept this plastic. As you all know, it's really hard to recycle ABS kind of plastic, and this one is PC ABS. So you know, so obviously it's a little bit different to just straight ABS that comes, you know, like car bumper bars and stuff like that. And as well as PC ABS, it's also got the FR, which is fire retardant. So that's what makes it really difficult to recycle. Not many people actually want the end product of this plastic because it's got the fire retardant in there. It's not straight ABS, it's PC ABS. It just makes it hard for it to recycle. And unfortunately, our government recycling stations, they accept plastic, but they don't accept this kind of plastic. So go figure, you know, they try and say to us, you know, recycle to, you know, especially plastics, you know, keep them out of landfill, yet there's nowhere to actually will accept them. Even a government paid recycling centre, unless they can actually get rid of them to someone that can make money out of it, no one's prepared to actually recycle this kind of ABS plastic just for the environmental. Everyone has to make a profit, you know, and so even the government aren't prepared to pay to get this stuff recycled, right? It's a bit of a sham. They will you know, put up recycling centres, yeah, sure, as long as you bring them stuff that like eWaste and stuff that they can recover money from, you know. But when it just comes down to straight out recycle just for no monetary value, just for you know, saving the planet, nah. So it's a bit of a sham, this these government initiatives of recycling. You know, us scrappers, we don't, you know, what's the option? You get scrappers will just throw this stuff into the rubbish bins and into landfill, you know, and so you're trying to do the right thing, and yet we're not getting any assistance from the people that should be giving us assistance, you know. And even the manufacturers of these products paying quite a bit of money to the government in order to get their product recycled, and yet they're not giving us the opportunity to you know, recycle the end stuff like plastic, you know. So anyway, that's my little rant on plastic recycling. You know, we all try and do our best and you know, recover all the precious metals and any other resources that we can get from computer scrap, monitors and stuff, but then there's nowhere left for us to actually recycle. So I'm going to go and try this plastic recycler. I spoke to them a little while ago, and they might take it. Let's hope they do. Otherwise I've got to bring it all back and find another place, you know, which is going to be pretty hard. And then I'm just going to just around the corner from this plastic recycler is my scrap yard, so I'll just drop off. I got scrap metal in there just to get rid of that as well. So I'll kill two birds with one stone. So this is like a little free job, get rid of the plastic, and then I can get rid of my scrap metal and get a little bit of petrol money. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay, well, I'm here. Plastic, paper, cardboard. Well, there you go, guys. Before Christmas, I came here and asked about PC ABS and whether I can get rid of it here. I brought the samples of monitors and keyboards. Said, yep, should have a buyer, or he knows where to get rid of it. Yep, bring it in. So now I've brought it in, and guess what? They don't want it. Said, yeah, unless I've got a container load, like 21 ton of it, he'd just have to throw it away in the bin himself. Said the small quantities is just he's got no room here to hold it. So yeah, the only way is if I've got enough to fill up a container, and say, you know, and that's it. So, oh well guys, well, I'll go to the scrapyard and get rid of my scrap metal, and then yeah, I'll just bring the plastic back home and just well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Try and take it to the transfer station, see if I can get rid of some there, but otherwise it's just going to have to go to landfill. There you go, that's recycling for you in this world. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the government can stick it up their backside, because their rubbish that they're talking about, oh, you know, be responsible and plastic recycling. Yeah, it's only if someone can actually make money. The government's not giving us any opportunity to get rid of this stuff. So pretty disappointing. Oh well, I'll go to scrapyard and then I'll head back and try and work out what I can do next. Well, at least I got some scrap metal money. Sent in 520 kilos of pressing steel, 16 cents a kilo, so it's pretty good. $83.20. So, oh well, bit of petrol money. So scrap steel is, you know, a lot better than it used to be. At one stage there, a while back, we're only getting 4 cents a kilo. So, you know, it's you know, 300% more than that. So it makes it, you know, only half a ton. And yeah, half a ton, $83. That's not too bad. All right, now I'm just going to check out a board buyer, my board buyer, and see if he'll take my plastic from me, because I don't know what else to do with it. So I'll try him out anyway. Well, I got rid of my scrap metal and no, couldn't get rid of my plastic. He didn't have my buyer didn't have any bins. He had so much plastic himself he has to get rid of. He really didn't need any more. So there you go, guys. You try and do the right thing and you know, get your plastic recycled, and no one wants to take it. So, well, and as I said, I can't take it to like the state recycling centre because they don't take it either. So there's nothing left to do but other than just throw it into landfill. So I might have to change my tactic in scrapping out monitors. I might just see if I can you know, get rid of them complete, because yeah, no one's going to take them. Oh well, at least when I dropped off some scrap metal, I found a PC that was right next to my van as I was unloading. So yeah, so it would have been a really nice PC. I would have kept this one, Sun Microsystem, Sunblade 2500. But it's just a piece of scrap metal. It's a good circuit boards, you know. The CPU's been taken out, but it's got 4 RAM sticks in there. And oh no. Oh wow. Oh, it's a bit rough, but yeah, that's nice. Ceramic with a copper top, and it's a Sun Ultra Spark 3i. That's a bonus. Hopefully there's another one in here. Maybe, maybe not. It looks like there's only one heatsink, so oh, that's a bonus. Really happy with that, because I haven't got one of these. Sun Ultra Spark 2001. Oh well, that makes me a little bit happier. And a pretty good motherboard, nice and heavy one, server board. So yeah, but this would have been a nice server if it was in nice condition, but still, I'll take it. So there you go. What a shame that there's just nowhere to recycle PC ABS plastic. It's just a real dilemma. And well, we've got no choice. You know, if I took this to the tip, to like landfill, just this little load here would have cost me about $80 to get rid of. You know, so I'm not going to pay $80 just to throw it in landfill anyway. So I might as well just trickle it out in rubbish bins and yeah, just try and, you know, get rid of it slowly. Can't really do much with it. I think there's certainly an opportunity there for someone with a plastic shredder to shred it up and, you know, make something out of it, because, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one with a problem with getting rid of plastic. So, you know, there's a little bit of a business opportunity, but the, you know, the other problem is that you can only have a business in one area, and you've got to then rely on people to bring you the plastic, because it's just not, it's so low value that it's just not even worth taking it to a recycling center if it's too far, and it's certainly not worth a recycling center to drop off a bin and come and pick it up again. And, you know, because you'd need, you know, just like that plastic recycler said, you know, he'll take it if I've got a full container load ready to go. Otherwise, it's just not worth it for them. And, you know, places like that, they're short on space as it is, and they just don't have room to accumulate stockpile of this kind of plastic, because it would just be sitting there for years until they had enough to actually do anything with. So it's a real problem. But, you know, hey, most of this stuff was going into landfill anyway. At least I got the monitors out and recycled them, and you know, and all those, you know, all the base metals and precious metals in there are going to, you know, come back into the system and stay out of landfill. And the most toxic part of it is, you know, the actual monitors themselves, so the screens themselves. So, you know, well, I can't help it. Tried my best, you know, I've put a bit of effort in trying to stack it all up and then load it into my van, and gone to the trouble of taking it to a recycler that once said that they would take it. You know, I don't have any other options now, so there we go. Oh well, that's you know, I suppose scrapping isn't always ups. You know, there is downs to e-waste scrapping, and this is one of them, where you know, if I had more volume like I used to have, you know, I would have no choice but to get a dump master and just have a regular pickup of a dump master and just have this taken to landfill, you know, and that would cost me obviously, but you know, when you're running a small e-waste business, you know, you should be able to afford that anyway over time. So, but yeah, once you're stepping down to scrapper level, you know, it's just, yeah, there's nothing out there for scrappers to, you know, no avenue to get rid of plastic. So it's a real shame. Oh well, what can we do? I'll go inside and just enjoy my CPU and scrap this PC out. And I'll deal with this plastic later. Alright guys, well, keep scrapping, have fun, and hope some of you have better luck in getting rid of your ABS PC plastic, you know, more than I do. You know, if it was straight ABS, no problem. I think you know, might be able to find a recycle for ABS alone, but this is PC ABS or PS ABS. It's a different material, and recyclers just don't want it because they can't really turn it into much else. And so, oh well. Okay, well, I had to move the furnace in a slightly undercover area, so because it was threatening to rain, so I thought I'd better move it in because I didn't want to get it, I certainly didn't want to get it wet. But So what I've been doing is I've been trying to dry out the furnace. As you can see now, I've started drying out the lid. You can see that moisture around that top. So I'm going to give it a couple more goes before I start putting a crucible in there anyway. So yeah, so there's still, this is the second time I've done it with the lid closed. First you got to start it with do it with the lid open a couple of times, and then do it a couple of times with the lid closed. But as I can still see, there's moisture around the edges, so I've got to give it another go. So I'll just give it a rest for 10 minutes, let some of this moisture evaporate, and then yeah, and then keep going. So but so far it you know, it works good. It seems to work okay. I did mention there's a little bit of peeling and a little bit of cracking because this surface is only a thin coating. It's not it starts off inside. There's the first inch of this is refractory cement, and then it's the refractory wool, I think, and then it's a fine coating of this stuff, and it has peeled off around the back, which it's not even where the fire sort of goes, but oh well, it should be still okay. If worse comes to worse, I might have to just give it a recoating one day, but yeah, so I'll keep going and prime this furnace up, and then I've got my crucible, and then I need to give this a heat up till about 600 degrees. Try and hold it at a 600 degree temperature for a while, and then let it cool down again, and that should prepare it, get us ready for our first melt. So I just want to, because they're a reasonably expensive crucible, I want to, you know, follow the manufacturer's recommendations and yeah, get that primed up first. So yeah, I'll just run this drying period one more time, and I reckon, because it started off, the moisture was about halfway, and so now it's really dropped back, and so, but it will need one more go just to make sure. I don't want to bring it up to high heat before I'm sure that all the moisture is out of this lid, because I don't want it to crack or anything like that. And yeah, and then we'll do the same with the crucible, and then we should be ready to pour or melt. And so I'm probably a little bit too late to melt today, so I'll get this fired up tomorrow, and yeah, I just want to start melting some copper and you know, get into my hobby of melting metals, and got plenty of copper here ready to go. Even got some of my good extruded aluminium. So I probably won't do aluminium for a while yet, because yeah, I just want to start melting copper. Alright guys, well, I'll keep going with this and get it all prepared so we can finally get something melted. And alright, I'll catch you soon.